Welcome back to the episode of the Bengals After Dark video cast with your host, B. Thanks. And, Drake's not here today. We do have a special guest, Drake Brown. Drake Brown, how you doing, man? It's been a tumultuous 48 hours for you, right? Obviously, you're now named the starting quarterback.
Yeah, man, it's
Gotta keep character. How you doing?
just gotta lock in, just score touchdowns. I came in, throwing the tee and stuff like that. We just gotta follow suit. Mitch is his dog. We're just gonna keep giving him the ball. Like I said, you heard me. Just throw it up to Mitch Buckington. So it's
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is out there, right?
yeah. And that's the great luxury of this offense is we can really tap into other areas, tight end usage and stuff like that. Even though we haven't seen much of Mike Gesicki this year, but it's just figure it out.
Drake Browning. No, I never wanted to fucking see you on the field for a second.
Yeah.
Right. No one wanted to see you. Just so you know. Even your wife did not want to see you on the field. The fucking font she has pants. She has nice pants, by the way. Saw a video she posted, bro. For game. All right, so you have a hot ass wife. We know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But you weren't meant to be out there. The season wasn't meant to go like this. And just so you know, every fan thinks we're cooked.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that, Drake?
It's the JB6 movement. As long as we move with the JB6, we're going to go as far as
JB Sixers?
Yeah, I mean, it'll take you as far as you can go. I feel like you look at what I did last time, above 500 record as starting quarterback. So, we're just gonna continue that movement. I think a lot of people have to give me credit for that win against Jacksonville. So we'll go ahead and put 1-0 in my column, and going forward, we're going to see where it takes us. I know a lot of people are comparing this story to Tom Brady, and but not Tom Brady, more of like a Steve Young and Joe Montana type deal. So I think there's definitely an opportunity for me to make some cash, make some money here.
Yeah. Okay. You want to say that boldly, like you're going to take Joe's spot, like you're going to be the predecessor for the team.
Yeah, I mean, you can always think what it is in your head, in your mind, but it's not always what it is. I know that right now I'm Cincinnati Bengals starting quarterback. Yep.
This dude looks exactly like Jake Browning. Ain't that crazy?
I can't.
Well, I know, bro. That was actually pretty impressive. It sucks. Like,
Had to stay in character.
bro, that was pretty good. We were both able to stay in character pretty well there. You better than me. But, like, it's obviously a bummer to even, joke about it like that. But there's just a lot. There's a huge variance of how some fans are feeling, right? Like, no fans out there, like, unequivocally confident that, like, we're going to fucking stay on the exact same trajectory we're hoping to as a fucking team. There's a lot going on, a lot of emotions. So we could go into the X's and O's and talk about Jimmy's and Joe's this past game. It don't matter right now. All right. We saw what we saw Sunday. There was nothing crazy. If anything, the most like standoutish we saw was Mitch Tinsley making a great play. Outside of that, like there's nothing more important than what we saw with Joe. So overall, bro, how you feeling today? What now?
Yeah. Honestly, I text you that it's like I'm just numb, bro. Like it's just like I don't know what to feel, bro. Honestly, I feel like it's unfortunate. I also think it's a luxury to have a backup quarterback like Drake Browning. Jake Browning. I think that they can win games. We've seen it with these stories, right? Maybe it's Sam Darnold, or I was picked a lot higher, but a guy that had proved himself. You've seen it with Case Keenum, Foles. I don't want to compare it to Nick Foles, who had a great legacy run, but you see what I'm getting at. It's like they still have an opportunity. They're 2-0 to still finish out the year strong. And I think one thing that we've seen in the Jake Browning era is like when he plays, it's like guys rally around him. It's a beautiful thing to see, you know, with your team. Like the defense is surprisingly look good this year so far. It's unfortunate that this is how result you get, but I do have confidence in Jake Brown. Like I said, it would be a whole lot different if this was just like Mike White in there as your starting quarterback, and obviously had that great game against us. We're talking about him more signing
He's
practice.
been literally ass outside of that game.
And Brett Ripien, like these guys that can't even compare with Jake Brown. Like Browning is one of the best backups in the league.
Period. Like just a little stat real quick. Outside of the Bengals game, Mike White has thrown 5 touchdowns to 12 picks outside of that one Bengals game. So we're not talking about some like bona fide top 40 quarterback. You know, we're talking about some bottom dweller. Like they were never looking to get a guy to come in to compete with Jake Brown. So yeah, bro, I'm with you. Look, this guy gives us a chance to win, but we obviously got to talk about the biggest, right? Which is there's so much to unpack, bro. Joe goes down again. It's most likely season. Now look, almost every time he has recovered, it's been ahead of schedule, so that's great. But like you are talking some of the most optimistic scenarios you could to have a dude come back for a potential playoff run. But you're also talking about tendons in such, I mean, I'm not here to be a doctor to say that how big of a difference it is between each tendon that's utilized in the body, but motherfucker, bro, the big toe, god damn, not every moment. This isn't the finger. This isn't a hand. This isn't a wrist that you can rest. You know, like you can't rest the big toe. So you're talking about constant, tension put on that. I'm sure there's some ways that you could alleviate that, but still, as you're trying to function, especially as a professional athlete, you gotta be careful with that. You don't want that lingering. It's a relief that we're not asking him to go run 7 RPOs a game like Josh Allen or anything like that. But what the Joe Burrow style, that's going to be a whole can of worms we're talking about. The Joe Burrow style, that makes him susceptible to trouble. His pass rushers, extending plays, really straining that. You know what I mean? So there's so much to unpack there, bro. But like, we got to get to it right away. That's what this show's going to consist of. What do you take from this? Like, where's your thought at? Is the concern super high for the longevity of Joe? Is it directed towards Joe? Is it directed towards the franchise to you? Is it directed towards what?
I think there's just a lot to unpack. It's like a lot of people, trying to point fingers. You can't point fingers at one person. This is everything added up until now. It's unfortunate. I don't know. Obviously, where do we go from here? I mean, you try to win as many games as you possibly can. You don't give up on the season. As much as I know people, with the tank movement, shit like that, which I haven't seen.
That's dumb as fuck. As shit.
Yeah, I've not seen that, but I'm not worried right now. The Bengals are 2-0. They got a win there in Jacksonville when Joe went down, showed the resiliency as we've seen before. So it's like just keep doing your thing. Now in terms of Joe, turf toe, man, like it's grade 3. It's just not the same injury that AJ Green dealt with towards the end of his career. I mean, it's not. It sucks, dude, because it can be. We're not doctors, we said, but like from everything I've heard, it can linger, and come back. So I don't know, in a sense, like where we go from here, right? Because in my opinion, early in the season, I feel like Joe Burrow has been seeing ghosts out there. He's not even, up until the injury, like we hadn't seen the Joe Burrow that we do later in the season. It's like a typical fashion. Like it just takes a few weeks to adjust for some reason. And it was the same thing here with this injury. Like I can't put complete fault on the offensive line or anything.
He literally ran back into the box.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
we've seen like Joe has not looked his best early on the season. It's how it unfortunately typically is. So that's the real of that. But it's also, you look at it in another lens, it's like, where do we, and I think Paul Daner had a great question with Zach, but I think it's a better question for the front office. It's like, where do we go from here? As a franchise, like, what do we do to try and like do the best we can for this guy? Is it the offense, the style, the balance with the rushing attack and stuff like that? Is it we're not spending enough on the interior guards? Like, what are we going to do to change this and help this guy? But also, it's like, oh, Joe, like, there's a lot to unpack there. So, yeah, I can't give you one particular answer. As I said, you can talk to so many different subjects so much.
Yeah, I don't want to act like that I have the answer.
Yeah.
But I've thought long and hard about this, and I've really tried. Like you guys know, me and Drake love to operate in the sense of like, and obviously our emotions get the best of us at times, and whatever, like myself or Drake could kind of catch ourselves in a certain realm. But at the end of the day, I'm all about what's the solution. Like, that's just how I'm wired. Like, I'm going to try to find, like, now what? I have zero time indulging on what was, or just the problem. No one wants to be just a problem identifier, especially around here. So, like, for me as a fan, I was like, all right. My delusional self is like, what would I do? The root of this, I think the most critical task to accomplish, you observe, is there a crippling talent insufficiency? This is the best O-line Joe's ever had. And I've got to take, this is a top 10 offensive line talent as a whole, as a unit in the league. There is a talent insufficiency. It's an epidemic in the NFL in the last 10 years. The disparagement between edge rushers and interior pass rusher production versus offensive line production has been widening. It's a league-wide problem. We cannot find enough quality offensive guys to fucking block these fucking freaks. It's a league-wide problem. We're not the only ones with it. You can get nitty-gritty. Anybody going as far to say that the Bengals have completely failed Joe Burrow is a lie. It's a flat-out fucking lie. And here's the yin and yang of both. I may go on a tangent. So if I do, just please give me the floor for a couple minutes, but I promise you I'm a cook. I've had thought with this. It's not like they haven't invested in the O-line. And here's the biggest kicker. The fans that would say they've completely failed Joe Burrow has exposed himself to his own demise with how he is committed to wanting to play the offense. He's wanted to go 5 wide. They've largely cut that out because they knew how bad the fucking O-line was. Then they committed to more bunch formations, utilizing 2 tight ends to try to find success in the run game to alleviate some of the predictability in their offense. But Joe has wanted to play this 90%, near 90% shotgun ways of operation. It's too predictable and it's getting you killed. It's got to change. And here's the biggest thing. Any fans that say, but he doesn't do good under center. He doesn't like under center. You're saying that about one of the greatest fucking processors the league has ever fucking seen. We're not talking about a fucking journeyman. We're not talking about Marcus Mariota. We're not talking about, we're not talking about Andy Dalton. We're talking about an all-time great as a processor. So you're telling me him turning his back for 1.04 seconds is going to be the complete deterrent? That he's going to brain rot and glitch as soon as he turns his head back around? No. Figure it the fuck out, bro. So it comes to this. Bengals fans will want to point the finger that the front office has completely failed Joe Burrow. Philosophically, could one look me in the eyes and say, yeah, them completely committing to what Joe wants as a quarterback is a failure? That doesn't make sense. What do you mean? How is it completely committing to their quarterback and, I don't know, paying him every single fucking wish list that he had this year? Every single one. Every single one was checked off. Freakish, potentially, if he turns a corner, he's on his way. Just like league-altering talent in Amarius Mims. A perennial Pro Bowler on multiple teams in Orlando Brown. Dylan Fairchild looks awesome, bro. Awesome. A pass blocking first guard that has the athleticism. Yes, that's a topic that does deserve discussion. How long it took them to get there to commit to guard is egregious, is unacceptable. Dalton Risner, an established, proven journeyman at multiple teams, and his floor is higher. Would you like the ceiling to be higher? Yes. Would you like him to be a bit better? Sorry, he was signed 18 days ago, and you got to play Eric Armstead. You're going to get got. Eric Armstead's a good player. Just throw that out there. Ted Karras has been a top 10 center for 5 years. Like, I mean, what all do you want? Do you want me to be the Eagles? Which, oh, wait. Yeah, look at the Eagles. They drafted Lane Johnson, 4th overall. Okay, we drafted Jamar Chase, 5th overall. We knew he was going to be great. They drafted Jordan Mailata, 7th round pick. That sounds malpractice. Now, the 7th round pick to start a tackle, that sounds like egregiousness. That's insane. Okay, and I'm not saying let's compare ourselves to the Eagles because, like, they are different. You know what I'm saying? The only team, Drake, that has left, like, almost no stones unturned. We talk about committing to the O-line, protect Joe Burrow, protect the asset. Sorry, we're not the Lions, bro. I'm sorry that every 1st and 2nd round pick is on their line. Right. I'm sorry we're not drafting every single fucking guy in the 1st and 2nd round. But, like, it's not like they haven't tried. You solved this by going under center. And I don't even want to continue going on a tangent, but, like, that's the biggest thing. Yeah. You got to force defenses on their heels. There's not an offense in the league that defenses feel like they can be on their toes more against than the Bengals. Get to Joe. Because he's passing those guys and he's in shotgun to scan the field to get to those guys. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the biggest, most critical factor. There's other things that go into that, but that's the singular biggest factor, in my opinion.
Now, what poses, like, if someone asks you, like, well, why is Zach not, calling a better offense, or why isn't Zach putting his foot down in a sense of that?
Yeah, I get it. I think it's so funny because, like, this is like deja vu. Mm. We talked about this because we saw early December at Jake Browning, and we're like, wait, Jake Browning has more time to throw. The alleviation of the pressure is crazy. He's not getting hit. Yeah. Like, why is he not? How is he not getting hit? He's got fucking concrete feet back there. How fucking slow he moves pisses me off. I love Jake, but my gosh, bro, he moves like he's on 0.8 speed. Yeah. Pick it up, bro. Like, the same with the zip of the ball. Yeah. He plays like you're slow-mo. Like, but he makes it happen. Yeah. When you go under center, you force defenses to think a bit more because you're more of a bunch formation, and it is the most simple, fundamental formation and concept to defenses that you may run, or you may present play action to where you fake the run and then you feed it with the pass, and then other ways to utilize that. You find success in the middle of the field to go away from what? The hash marks. Because you know who the fuck's going to kill you out there. Jamar will kill you. T will kill you. Mike will kill you. Now Mitch Tinsley will kill you. Andre will kill you. Chase will kill you. Every defense knows that. They can kill us over the top, over our heads, to the side, wherever. And Jake Browning's proven he will get it there. He'll zip that ball on that 10-yard out. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not like bum-ass Jimmy Garoppolo that's got to pass in between the hash marks because he can't trust his arm to get to the fucking sideline. Jake will kill there. So when on the inside, the same can happen with Joe. You've got to find success as an offense running in between the tackles. Mm-hmm. What did we talk about? What they were doing? They were trying to do that. Yeah. They've been running in between the tackles to win on the inside, create success upfield, to then branch out. It's fundamental. You got to win it as a core, so you stay closer in line, get upfield, and you win outside. Philosophically, 2 strikes. There had to have been something in the background when Joe had the wrist happen. And then you saw the ease, the transformation, the downhill momentum you had with Jake as an offense. There had to have been something wrong with Joe. Now, the foot's down, bro. 3 strikes. Your philosophy is out.
Yep.
For you. For you, bro. Like, here's the craziest part, bro. Just, these are freak injuries, bro. That's the most frustrating part as a Bengals fan. Like, and Paul broke this down. Shout out to Paul. I loved the episode he had today, and I wish I could finish it. I just didn't have time. I was too busy at work. I love that he stood up for the reality that, like, it's not like Joe got smashed by 650-pound guys, no Diddy, every injury. It's not like he's getting double pancaked by fucking defensive linemen because guards are on their ass necessarily. It's you spent a bit too much time in the pocket. Yeah, the O-linemen didn't do their job long enough, but you had a 285-pound dude laying on your hand. Unprecedented tendon rupture in a passing hand. That's not, tweak my hammy again. Knock on wood. Let's fucking hope that doesn't happen to T this year. But you know what I mean? That's not the ACL is burning again. Had bad surgery, ruptured that again, like Odell Beckham.
Yeah, he's not injury prone.
Like,
it's just freak injuries.
You are freak injury susceptible because you put yourself in harm's way. And, like, I'm not here for the, like, in my mind, there's too much going on for me to even argue with people about injury prone. I'm just going to ignore it because, like, we just got to get this dude, like, right. There's something bigger going on now.
Yeah.
I'm not here to put any, like, fear in people's minds, but, like, God forbid, like, he had some other stuff going on in his life. Like, everybody's got other stuff, and I'm not here to say that Joe's a phenomenal spot or whatever, but, like, he was in a different spot in his life when he had the injury. But he talked about, like, football mortality. I said, I'm not here to instill fear in anybody, but, like, he had another freak injury. Played 5 fucking quarters of football, bro. Bro, like, God, it fucking makes me so mad. Like, you've got to change. And, like, here's a simple thing I brought up. You know who I would look to if I was Joe? Matthew Stafford. It sounds weird. It sounds a little, obviously fans may feel type of way with the 21 season. That was a guy that played with the rather infamous franchise. Don't want to talk about how that ended. That's not my point. But a young career that kept getting haunted by fucking injuries, bro. He had some injuries stack up early on in Detroit. And, like, evade. Like, but not just that. Build-wise, he's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar. He's not Pat. I'm not here to say that any of those guys are, like, genetically, like, completely at a different level of Joe. You know what I mean? He's known as the average Joe. Kind of like Matthew Stafford. Mastermind, not the most physically gifted, who suffered injuries early, who has gone on to have a long, successful career. Where should I be? You know what I mean? Like, whatever that looks like, I don't know, man. But you got to dig deep. The franchise and Joe have to dig deep. And they've got to change. And I don't think it has to change a ton, but it's not a suggestion. The second injury was a suggestion, maybe. Do you want to consider? No, I want to stick with my bread and butter. Got it. That's where I'm at. There's no suggestion. It's changing. And it will have to work.
It's like one of those things when it's like you can look at everybody, right? Like you can look at everybody. It's just Zach has shown his foot down. That's just my opinion. You've seen the success that you've had. I understand, bro. You want to pass. You have a pass in your offense, but some games you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to have bombs away right away. Start of season, you might take what you get. You know what I mean? it's unfortunate how, like you said, 5 fucking quarters, bro. 5
Of bad football, too.
Yeah.
Couldn't even get it going yet. You had one good drive.
Yep.
Just getting going.
First drive.
I mean, just getting going. And like I told y'all, you know how we roll on this show, bro. I'm not here to indulge. Like, I will unveil, I will observe, I will break down what is and how. It's so funny because I'm not a coach. People go, "Oh, you're not a coach, bro. Don't I like you coaching?" I don't give a damn, bro. But to be straight up, y'all are the same ones that are going to bitch the whole time about how the front office is a failure and Joe Burrow should have fucking pulled Eli Manning, whatever. So, what does that look like for the future of Joe as an operator of this offense? First of all, he's not going anywhere. And second of all, he should be, we all anticipate, who knows, hopefully he's back this year, right? Let's hope he's back. Let's hope that the Bengals can be in contention, right? We'll talk about that later. We got time later for that shit. We got minimum 11 games to talk about that, all right? We're not here for that tonight. We're here to talk about what now. No, Joe Burrow is not Lamar Jackson. And it's not going to live like this, or it's not going to look as pretty as this, because Lamar is pampered. He's the most curated 2 quarterback in the league. The Ravens fans never want to admit it. Ravens fans are the worst football fans on the planet. They are worse than Steelers fans, worse than Browns fans. I hate them. But, anyways, no, they don't get the luxury of having 12 All-Pros, 12 Pro Bowlers, 6 All-Pros. But credit to Lamar, too. They've been able to have success as a run unit. I'm not saying let's have as much success as the Ravens. Let's run for 200 yards a game, because that is the gift of Lamar. That is what Lamar is lethal at as a runner and can kill you with the pass. Similarly, in my opinion, with like the preseason wasn't about fucking reps. It's about rhythm. It's about building momentum from those reps meaning something. In the same way, you can't run to fill up a stat sheet, to check a box. This entire 97% of Joe Burrow's snaps as a Bengals leader in the offense, they just run to check off boxes. Run. All right, we ran it on 2nd down. Ran on 2nd and 9. Ran on 2nd and 11. Checked it off. Pass. Yeah. I need you to run to generate respect.
Yeah.
You have to run until you make the defense respect you. Joe cannot afford to have a defense teeing off on you anymore. At its core, what is a defense teeing off on you? On their toes.
Dude,
Does Myles Garrett have the audacity to fucking Eurostep Lamar Jackson at the line of scrimmage? Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts' bum ass. I'm kidding, he's not a bum, but like I don't respect his passing attack. But does he have the audacity to Eurostep those guys? No. Why? Because he doesn't respect their legs or something? No, because he respects their ability to run. Do you think he's disrespecting Joe Burrow because he's such a lethal processor? No. It's because I know what you're doing. That's not all Zach's fault. That's what Joe wants, Drake. That's what Joe wanted. And that's not all on Joe. But here's where I'm at, bro. It's 60-40 on Joe and me. Because here's the thing. Child. As if you're a parent. Child, Joe Burrow. I got you everything you want. I bought you all the toys, or in a football metaphor, that the kid that gets all the shiny gear, you fucking better go out there and give it your all. You know what I'm saying? This little kid, you know, a baseball guy, like football guy, whatever. Like, you get all the gear, get the little sleeve, you get the little fucking helmet, get the little fucking mouthpiece, the little face mask, the jersey, and all. You better make the most of it. It's simple. It's like with anything. I got you this. Now you have to go earn it. The Bengals paid. Now, did they do exactly enough with the O-line? No, they haven't throughout the years. But fuck, they have now. I can't criticize him for going out there leaving no stones unturned with signing, with having like the dopest fucking August I've ever seen from a team outside of the Eagles. They're stop thinking about the Eagles. We always bring them up as a captain because I fucking know you guys. Well, look at the Eagles. They fucking trade for fucking Tank Bigsby because they got 140 yards out of their rushing unit. Sorry, we're not the Eagles, so disclude them. Like, we invest in the Dalton Risner to leave no clear question marks on the O-line. No big concerns. No dots, I guess. I guess you have question marks about Dylan Fairchild. But you get my point. You extended Ted K. You signed a perennial Pro Bowl, multi-Pro Bowl on different teams tackle in Orlando Brown. I don't care how you did it, you did it. Amarius Mims. You've got depth that you feel decent about. You've done this shit, bro. You've done it. And now it's Joe was committed to this. You pulled back from all the 5 wide because of, like I said earlier, because how bad the O-line was. Got it. Can't go LSU because like Isaiah Prince and Hakeem Adeniji deserve to be playing in Canada. You know what I mean? We're in the fucking Xi Jinping fucking China League, the Japanese football, the JFL. You know, like we're not at that spot no more. I know it's so easy to throw tomatoes every turn at the franchise failing Joe Burrow. It's a lie that they have failed Joe Burrow, especially when this is what Joe wanted. This is what he wanted.
Let me ask you a question that might be considered too early, but I want to pick.
Yes, we're going to Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. I want to pick your brain on it. So, does this give a pass for Zach Taylor again?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. You know it is, bro. Bro, Jake Browning was down by 7 week 2 against the Jags offense that put up 200 yards in the first 3 drives. He came back. 92 yards under 2 minutes.
Put your foot
Liam Cohen's bum ass. A little bitch, bro. Bengals had to earn it. I get it. Hey, that was a little ticky-tacky on the 4th and 5 on Andre. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit. Oh, look, Bella. She and little Bella Bird.
Cut. What's up? What's up?
Little cutie, man.
So what's up?
Hey, Bella. We got to put on, man. We got to put on as a unit this year. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. When life gives you lemons, you squeeze them in your fucking eyeballs because being a fucking Bengals fan, bro. I'm going to make Chick-fil-A lemonade. That's what we're going to do.
Put your foot down. You can't be a pussy, man.
But like
Joe, like, no, we're not doing that. Because imagine
Joe Burrow,
okay,
Drake.
but imagine, like, listen, I get the levels are different in a sense. Say offensive line. Okay, we're not playing Madden. I get that, Joe Burrow. I get that. I get it.
Well, then what if they put their foot down and then he's got to go? They're not treating him right. They're bottling up. They're holding his protection. They're holding him back.
Because listen,
that's what they say, bro.
Could you imagine? It doesn't have to be as run-centric as this team. But imagine if Joe Burrow ran a Jared Goff-like offense.
That I'm so glad you brought that up. That is the dream. And here's the thing.
And Joe Burrow can run it even better.
Look at his numbers, bro. Look at Jared Goff. Look at fucking Jared Goff cart. Like, he is crazy, bro. I'm so glad you brought that up. I was thinking about that today. That's the dream of efficiency. Jared Goff can't fucking sniff the jockstrap of Joe Burrow. No. I'll fucking teabag Jared Goff, bro. Fucking bum, bro. Fucking dog water.
Oh my God.
That's Bella Burton soggy fucking saliva-filled dog water compared to Joe Burrow, bro. Fucking Jared Goff? Bro, he's fucking discounted fucking 40% off half-open, stale, stinky milk carton, Joe Burrow. And look at the numbers he's putting. I fucking love you brought that. That's it. Like, and what does that look like? Oh, the O-line is nothing like the fucking Lions. Nothing? Are they the Lions? No. Are the Lions' weapons ours? Fuck no. Lick my fucking nuts. And here's the same thing. As fans are going to, but we're not the Bengals. The Lions didn't draft like the Bengals. Oh, so the Lions day one expected a 5th-round pick wide receiver to become one of the best in the league. That's the kicker that you guys fallen into. You want to act like every team just had it laid out magically from day one, and just the Bengals are the short end of the stick. We're just the Bengals, and we never get it right. And the franchise sucks, and we can't draft a lineman, and we never do it right. But we got the best receiver core in the history of the fucking league. Mitch Tinsley's a UDFA that took Jermaine Burton's chain, bro. Not every team can get it, bro. The Ravens have never drafted a Pro Bowl earning receiver. We're not counting Zay Flowers' bum-ass 1,072 yards over beat TJ last year. We're not counting that. They've never drafted a fucking Pro Bowl wide receiver. Not every team's got it all made, bro. We ain't got it all made. We got blemishes, bro. We can't figure out O-line. And the same team that you just keep indulging, the Eagles, okay, they've had a legacy run that the league has never seen.
But
ever. Outside of them, nobody's got it perfectly right.
But that's the thing. We do look at that offensive line, right? And it is the best offensive line of Joe Burrow's career. So why are we in a situation like this? Why was the offense? You had all this time. Oh, you didn't do joint practices because you felt like this was the best for installs and all that. Why was it the same product? Why was it the same offense ran? Why didn't we dig deeper in a sense of, okay, we've seen what has happened in the past. Why do we not change it? My job is on the line. Why do we not change it?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, what this came down to, that actual play like we talked about, it runs like slow in my mind. Like, I just saw the traffic build up in the middle of the D-line. I'm like, why is he going back into the pocket? Evade, bro. Evade. Do your thing. Evade. Throw it away. I don't care. Why? There's nothing there. Why are you stepping up in the pocket? Rusty. Still. That's what comes back to the macro. We talked about that last week. Fuck, bro. He played like almost 3 combined quarters of preseason football. What do you need? You need joint practices too? Like, we talked about that, right? That's where it's truly like, you know what I mean? Like, what more can be done? You know, like that is the most agonized part. It comes back to Drake. It comes back to, unfortunately, not everything's got a crystal clear path to an answer. I'm sorry that I don't know if I mentioned this here or like I've talked about it a couple times today. And I think Paul Darren may have said this. Some Bengals reporter said this. Credit to them. Drake, 2% of turf toe injuries or surgery. 2%. Never happened before in the history of the league for a quarterback on his third hand to fucking rupture his tendon. Sorry he had 650 pounds thrown on his knee back in 2020. Sorry. That one's been obvious, right? You just got pancaked. He was horrible. But by the way, is actually playing some better football right now. Michael Jordan, who's just a free agent a month ago. So that kind of alludes to the large picture thing. That scheme can put you in better positions to win. They got it when Joe was rusty. It's a fucking bitch, dude. Because I couldn't even give you an answer. I can't say, like, it was this or it was that or it's all on Zach or it's what. They signed Noah Fant to do what? To be the Eric All. What did Eric All do? Give you 2 tight end sets. To do what, Drake? To become less predictable. Who had the highest percentage of snaps last week and this week as a tight end? Mike Gesicki because they wanted to go 5 wide at one-dimensional? Noah Fant. Like, I don't know. They tried. You know what I mean? They tried. The cards were laid out there. Dalton Risner was starting. Proven guy. Dylan Fairchild has allowed 1 pressure so far. And he's had to face Mason Graham and Eric Armstead. Dudes. Darius Swoop. Dudes. Like what? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Hakeem Adeniji, Alex Redmond. I could drop it back 84 times.
It's just his run scheme is and always will be ass. Average 2 yards per carry, under 2.5 yards per carry through the first 2 games with Chase Brown as your running back. Like you got that. That's something you got to figure out.
But how do you figure that out? Reps or stop doing it.
No, you don't stop doing it. No, you have to. I mean, you're the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. You have to know how to run different schemes. Are you running outside? Are you running on the inside like HB dive? Like, figure out what you want to do schematically. As we just talked about in Detroit, you don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. You don't know if it's a pitch left. You don't know if they're going wide right, inside. Like, you don't know, and then you don't know what they're gonna do in the passing game. So it's like one of those things where Zach Taylor has always kind of been this vanilla play caller. And I'm by no means putting this injury by itself on Zach Taylor, because I agree. Joe was seeing ghosts out there. He was taking too long to dissect the defense and make a play like he typically does. So I'm not putting that on Zach Taylor in any sense, but we have seen that similarity with the Joe Burrow-led offense. It's like, we're not playing Madden, bro. You have to figure it out. I don't know if maybe every first down you just don't run the fucking ball. Like, it's so predictable sometimes. Like, we know you're running on first down, then you're coming back, second, third down, you're passing, bro. Like, it's so easy to tell as a defensive unit. You have to learn when enough is enough. And as you said, now it's like enough is enough. But how do we know? How do we know to go from here? Nobody really knows the answers. We've been talking about this entire episode. You can just go down a list of everything.
I think, like, you want to get a bit more nitty gritty over the last, like, probably the whole career. Like, I know over the last 3 seasons, first through third down, like, predictability measures of, like, I forget what the exact stat is, so I don't want to say it for certain, but I know this. The Bengals were first at predictability rate. Like, so what does that mean? The singular most critical variable is lining up under center. That's it. You want to know the 2 least affected plays that the Bengals have ever ran?
I know.
It's a behind the line of scrimmage Drew Sample dump off, and then a fucking handoff and shot. How many breakaway runs have we seen from handoff and shotgun? It never happens.
Did you see the stat of who right now, currently through the first 2 weeks, tied at the bottom with the worst explosive rate in run
Chase
attack
Brown
team is Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan.
Of course. And you want to hear something disgusting, Drake? In week 1, Chase Brown saw a combined negative 72 yards of behind the line of scrimmage contact. So you're telling me a
Sounds
combined
like Joe
72 yards he was hit. That's 17 plays of 4 yards behind the backfield on average. Why? Well, maybe because you get the ball 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, because Joe and them want to commit to that. You want to get nitty gritty? That's the singular biggest thing that has to be fucking abolished from a Joe Burrow-led offense anymore. It cannot happen, because here's the implications: his career. Like that's 6 seasons, 3 season-ending injuries for one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. It's agonizing, bro. It's fucking agonizing.
So it was 30 years still.
That's what has to happen. Like, we're sitting you down, Joe. It is changing for you. And it's not like we're saying become Jalen Hurts and throw 18 times a game for 114 yards.
Exactly.
I'm saying you will be Jared Goff on steroids. We are going to fully commit to continuing to sharpen up this O-line. That means continuing to commit to what type of profile of an offensive line? Athletic guys. Now, that will raise some questions. If Orlando shows to, and he played good last week, but he's had his hands full. Sorry, he's got to play 2 fucking two of some of those lethal pass rushers in the league, guys. Sorry you had to play fucking Josh Hines Allen, who had 18 sacks, just like Trey 2 years ago and 15 last year. Sorry you had to play Myles fucking Garrett week 1. Sorry he didn't look amazing coming off the leg injury. Sorry. It ain't easing up. Because he's got Micah Parsons in a few weeks. Oh, to ease up. Aiden Hutchinson. Jonathan Greenland or whatever the fuck their name is. Alex Van Ginkel at fucking Minnesota. It don't get easier, bro. What did we talk about? There's an epidemic of offensive line capability versus freakish pass rushers in the league. Suck it up. You just got to deal with it. But you want to talk about philosophically, you got to get more athletic. And what's a better way to do that than to try to go all in on young athletic offensive linemen at premium picks in the draft, because the hit rate on first-round offensive linemen that are athletic in the draft, you want to talk about a hit rate, bro, that's about as high as receiver in the first round. 80%. Bro, look at the stats the last 10 years of offensive linemen in the first round. The average RAS is like almost a 9. It's high as fuck. And 80% of them hit in the first round. Not every time.
Yeah.
But most of the time. Just like receivers are almost like 80%. You know what I mean? You're going to hit. Quarterbacks are like 50. It's crazy. You can't guarantee, you know? But Dylan Fairchild, check. He looks good so far. Amarius, fucking check. We're going all in on this kid. He's there. He's raw, but he's there. And then, yeah, you could say for the future, you have some things that you got to, you know what I mean? But I'm not like, oh my God, you got 3 Isaiah Princes on the line. You got to fucking eradicate them, send them to fucking the Japanese football league. Like, you know, like, you got, like, all right, we got Dalton Risner. Like, outside of that, then you commit to the play action. I want to add this quickly. His average attempt rate was 33 passes. In my opinion, it's crazy because like last year you had so many amazing games because of how incredible Joe is. But like, you could say debatably 2 Chiefs games, 2 49ers games, and a Bills game. Probably some of Joe's best 5 games. Up there. Before last year. Because we had this debate last year. Coming off the wrist injury. Times with last circle. He passed an average 33 times in those games, right? Outside of the Chiefs game where he threw 39 times, he threw 27 times in one of those games. 29 times. 28 times in the Niners game. 25 for 28. Remember that? Did we tell these? Andre game, TB game, one of the last big TB games. Like, he's not throwing it 47 times. Like, it's balancing, building what? Respect. I need respectability from a defense to get on their heels. Yeah. I'm not saying I want to be the Ravens and run the ball 41 times. I want to be the Eagles and run 38 times. I want to run 31 times and I want to pass 32 times. Can you not run 21 times and pass 42 times and average 2.1 yards per carry? Because you run on what? First down, second down, it's 3rd and 9. You got to pass on 3rd. Joe dies. You know, it's like,
it's honestly surprised me that they've been able to win these past 2 games with that run stop. Because it's not going to last. You're not going to win games week in and week out doing that. So I just hope that's something that is revised, because you know with Jake Browning it is different. You're going to have to get back to the same style that they used to.
Drake. This is why we're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's a bold take. Okay. Because this offense is going to average about 30 points a game with Jake. Because the play action is going to get going, Drake.
Is this so? We've seen kind of like a glimpse. Is this like really the Jake Browning like is this where it starts? Is this the guy that could really like this year lead them to the playoffs, right?
Yes.
So you win a game.
You can get it back. He can get it back.
Yeah.
Because play action is going to start working, Drake. Because why? Because he can't process as quick as Joe Burrow. So they're going to try to make it a bit more simple. They're going to say, okay, you can't process as quick. What helps a quarterback have more time to process? To have more time? Well, our O-line's not world beaters, but they're all right. How do we help? How do we help? We're going to force the defense on their heels a little bit. How do you do that? How do you do that pre-snap consistent? Under center. The under center rate that Jake has had compared to Joe is a crime. It's a crime.
In the screen passes.
But it's a crime. It's an indictment on both sides. Joe, philosophically, in the front office and the decision makers to abide by Joe's desires, abide by his wishes. I want to play like this. It's going to look a lot smoother, bro. The run game's going to start looking better, Drake. And look, which is actually crazy because, Jake targeted Jamar 14 times. Or wait, sorry, 13, 12 times? Maybe 11. I don't give a fuck ton. You catch 11 passes in 3 quarters. I thought he was going to break the record, NFL record. He had 11 catches at the half. You should have kept feeding him. Also, y'all may have heard me. I had a plus 3,500 bet of Jamar 200 yards. He had that crosser over the field where he was wide open. Safety wasn't over the top, and Jake overthrew him. He would have had a 70-yard touchdown. He would have had it too. Oh, but forget it. But they did utilize him this game. My point is, maybe Jamar doesn't go for 2. Maybe he doesn't.
I will say though, it's crazy the amount of great games that Jamar and Tia both had with T. Higgins. So I think that's why this can be the chance. Teams see that, right? Damn, you give this guy some weapons, he can make it happen. So it's
yeah.
you gotta see consistency. Obviously, clean up the turnovers. Felt like that was something that. Come on, Jake. But he had nothing to lose. He was going out there. He was just trying to make plays.
Yeah.
And I think we will see some of that cleaned up.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting with maybe some divisional games and stuff like that. That's going to be pretty big. But yeah, just getting this run game going, man. I don't think I've seen Samaje Perine carry.
I think I saw him with one, bro. He got that nice out route, that little 13, 14 yarder.
I saw him in the receiving.
I think Maje's been great.
Yeah.
And someone brought that up today. I absolutely have to see Taj Brooks. I know we want to, and I think he can provide an element, but do we have to? Maje's great. What has Maje done? You know what I mean? He was signed to be a formidable high floor guy. You know what you're getting. He's been everything and more. Look at him as a returner.
I know. That's what
God damn, bro. He's still got the juice for real. So,
damn, Unc.
Yeah, bro, for real. Unkin, bro. But hey, bro, he's doing his job. Guys, we're going to wrap this episode here in a few minutes. I couldn't help but to get nitty gritty. That's my nature. And I know largely that's probably what you guys at least want to hear in a sense because, everybody's panic meter is a bit different. And I know the biggest question is who to blame. At the end of the day, I'll sum it up like this. I'm not ripping anybody. But it's frustrating and saddening as a fan that you love this team, you love this player. Joe, you've gone down in a sinking ship that you guys built. And that ship's got to go. You got to build a new one. You got to swim ashore, and you got to build something. I'm not saying build something completely different, but what we talked about. I'm not saying you're here going completely left and you got to go completely right. I'm saying you just got to that slight angle. All right, so he's got time to think on it, but you've got so much talent. I'm so happy to have Jake Browning as a backup quarterback leading the helm. I would only want Jameis Winston for vibes. I don't care to have him on the field. Okay, what he throws for 30 more yards and Jay Browning the same amount, if not more picks. I don't need that, bro. We don't need that headache. How annoying was it? Jameis Winston literally would have been he would have produced the exact situation on Sunday. 3 literally brain rot, 0 brain celled interceptions by Jake. First of all, why are you throwing in quadruple coverage? We love Andre. Andre Yosevach. Stop. What are you doing? Then what are you doing? What the fuck? Jameis would have done the same shit. So I'm confident to roll with a guy like Jake, but we wanted to get nitty-gritty for you guys tonight on what this looks like philosophically. You got any closing thoughts, bro? Closing comments on kind of what this was today?
Third time's a charm. As a play caller, as you said, you gotta get off, get in onto shore, start it over.
Yeah.
I think you need to start it over with somebody else.
What do you mean?
I'm crashing out. Here's my.
You mean a coach?
Yeah, new coach. Yep.
You think so?
Yep.
You think the Bengals?
I don't think they will. I think they need to because we have seen a
Drake,
good
you know
chunk
they're
of
gonna rally. The players are gonna rally around Zach. You already know it. Unless if something happens, bro, you want Danny P, right? Would you want Dan Pitcher?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like my desire. Like, we would both take Dan Pitcher today, preferably over Zach, in my opinion. I'd be willing to take that gamble, but I also can't gamble that it would be a ton better. You never know, right? But it could. I love it. You know how the FO rolls, though, bro. Oh, dude, they're gonna get so in their feels, Drake. They're like, oh, look at our coach, let our guys again, did it again. Look at him, and look at how he got resourceful after we lost our beloved.
What are you gonna do if the Bengals are 9-8 3 years in a row, though, and you miss the playoffs? I mean how is that like your modern day Jeff Fisher?
I mean, you went 8-8 with the backup quarterback. That's not an L. It's not. That's like.
What if
that's 10-7 with Joe Burrow?
What if you go in a world of what ifs? You go 5-12.
God. Yeah, then obviously something corrosive happened, and the dudes are healthy. God forbid, you don't have to suffer extended period of time without the guys, and yeah, I mean, it would just depend on if you lose a locker room. That's it. That is the floor, in my opinion. That is the deciding factor. You did not see that, bro.
Yeah.
You see a group as tight as ever right now, as ever.
Love it.
Because of what everything has meant, because of what everything that was building this season, what was getting there, and was ripped away from you again. This dynamic right now, this is the most tumultuous time and quickly hardening to a strengthened unit that I've ever seen in the Joe Burrow era. Yeah. So the front office relishes in that. And TBD, we could be back here fucking joking about Jake in 13 days, saying how bad he's been and you need to trade for Jameis. You never know. You know what I'm saying? We never know. But we do know this. Something's got to change. The front office should not be crucified. They all need to be addressed. And that hard conversation has to happen. Or else you could be talking about a catastrophic, league-wide saddening move of just you don't know where that could go with Joe. So yeah, something big's got to change, man. I think it will happen.
It could be out of nowhere.
You never know. So yeah, that'll do it for this episode of the Bengals After Dark video cast, guys. We'll be back with y'all later, going over some X's and O's, talk about Jimmy's and Joe's here on out, man. But till then, appreciate y'all for tuning in into this episode of the Bengals After Dark video cast.
Peace.